Welcome back to Rome Total War. Rome, Summer 101 BC. The battle rages on and Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina knows he cannot hesitate. His 1,600 legionnaires are fighting against the enemy Panatolos Adiabenikos and his 2,500 men. It is a decisive battle that will influence the outcome of the war. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina knows he must give everything to win. The fighting has lasted for several days and the enemy seem not to die. The Roman troops stand in formation, while the Triarii prepare for the next attack. It is a tense atmosphere, but Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina remains calm and focused. Suddenly, an attack is launched on the enemy's right flank, while Roman troops advance behind enemy lines. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina sees his chance and spots the enemy general, Panatolos Adiabenikos. He orders his troops to encircle him behind enemy lines. The Roman legionnaires and cavalry immediately set out to attack the enemy leader. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina knows that this is a risky undertaking, but he also knows that it is a chance to win the battle. The attack begins and the Roman troops rush like hungry wolves towards the enemy general. It becomes brutal and Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina is aware that this is a crucial moment. There is no turning back, because now everything is at stake. The Roman legionnaires fight bravely and push the enemy back further and further. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina is proud of his men as they fight with all their strength and passion. They know that this is the moment they have been waiting for. In the end, the enemy general dies and Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina is celebrated as a hero. He has proven that he is a great leader and that he will do everything to win. His tactics and courage have made the difference. For Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina, this was a decisive moment in his life. He knew he had taken on a leadership role and that he had to do everything to lead his men to victory. His emotional intelligence and his ability to recognize his own feelings and those of his men helped him make the right decisions and win the battle. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina has gathered his entire cavalry for the final blow against the enemy hoplites. While the hoplites fight against the Triarii, Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina attacks from behind. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina looks at the enemy hoplites who are fighting against the Triarii. His cavalry is ready for the final blow. He gives the order to close ranks and signal the attack. With thundering hooves, the Romans rush towards the enemy. First, the phalanx on the right flank is attacked and surrounded by infantry and the Roman general. The hoplites run in panic and are slaughtered. The slaughter takes its time. After Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina slaughtered the hoplites, he called his cavalry together once again. It was time to turn their attention to the enemy battle line and put an end to this foolishness. The hoplites fought tirelessly, but their movements were restricted by their heavy armor and long spears. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina recognized their weakness and attacked from behind. The Roman riders broke into the phalanx of hoplites and struck wildly. A massacre ensued. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina observed the battle from a safe distance. The hoplites, with their heavy armor and long spears, fought bravely, but their movements were restricted. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina recognized their weakness and saw an opportunity for a surprise attack. He called his cavalry and ordered them to attack the hoplites from behind. The Roman riders, riding strong and fast horses, broke into the phalanx of hoplites and struck wildly. The hoplites were surprised and tried to defend themselves, but it was too late. The Roman riders were too numerous and well-equipped for them. A massacre ensued. The hoplites fought fiercely, but the Roman riders were relentless. They struck with their swords and lances, while their horses galloped wildly. The hoplites tried to organize themselves and defend, but it was hopeless. They were too restricted by their armor and spears. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina watched the battle and was satisfied. He knew that the surprise attack was successful and that the hoplites were now defeated. He ordered his troops to charge the enemy and emerge victorious from the battle. The Roman legionaries surged forward and attacked the hoplites from all sides. The hoplites, who had fought before, were now confused and disoriented. They didn't know what to do and were exhausted from the long battle. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina led his troops into battle and fought at the forefront. He struck wildly with his sword and thrust his lance into the ranks of the hoplites. His men followed his example and fought bravely and relentlessly. The hoplites tried to defend themselves, but it was too late. They were defeated and in retreat. The Romans pursued them and killed the fleeing. The battle was over, and the Roman army had won. The hoplites desperately tried to defend themselves, but they were no match for the fast and agile horses of the Romans. The cavalry rode in wild circles around the hoplites and knocked their spears out of their hands. The hoplites panicked and tried to escape, but it was too late. The Roman riders had surrounded them. Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina sees that the enemy is at its end and orders all hoplites to be killed. The Romans are ruthless and show no mercy. The hoplites fall like flies as the cavalry rides them down. The carnage lasts for hours. The Roman army was also known for being uncompromising and relentless in battle. Once they were engaged in a battle, there was no turning back. The soldiers were trained to fight to the death if necessary, and they often sacrificed themselves for victory. Even their enemies knew that they could expect no mercy from a Roman army. When the battle finally ends, the hoplites are defeated and Gnaeus Cornelius Arvina triumphs. He has defeated the enemy and his cavalry has made a decisive contribution to the victory. The Triarii held their line,